Yeah, you got to change your mic if you're using a Roadmaster.
Hello, 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 hello. All right. I think it should be good now. Talk, Shawn. Let me see if they can hear you too.
You still hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. There's a little bit of a delay online, so I'm waiting for it to catch up.
Okay.
Yep,
Sounds
we're back.
good.
We're good.
All right. All right. So I think we're all set up with the audio visual. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We do these every once in a blue moon, as you guys know, and for those of you who follow us, you know what we do. So
that's right. Pretend beer time for me.
Let me see if I need my lights. You got your light on for your camera or no?
I don't have a light on my camera.
You don't?
I thought you always did. My office is like got no light control whatsoever. So this is just like I got outside windows. I got light above me from the skylight. I got my kitchen. Like this is the worst streaming studio ever, but at least it's well lit, you know?
Yeah. Whatever. I'll put them on a little bit because it's pretty bright in here too. So I don't know. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, I see. So I see what I'm doing. This Roadcaster is pretty badass.
Yeah, it is.
All right. How many people we got in here? Let's see. Let's see if we get started.
I think it's me and you.
Oh, we got
probably
19.
Phenomenal view. He's always around.
Well, we got about 19 people in here. So
holy moly.
Cool. That's enough to throw a party, throw a little game dev party. All right, you guys know why we're here. We're here because we're bored and we hate working on our games. So we got to get back to some kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in like customization hell right now on this secret project I'm working on. Nobody even really knows about it. Some guys do.
Customization, man, it's so much harder than people think.
It is.
I know you've been telling me you've been working on this for days already.
Yeah, it's been crazy, and things just take a long time, and it's never simple.
No,
never simple. So you guys, if you haven't heard the news, there's a new game that's been in the works. I mean, it's Maximum Football, like it's Doug Flutie's Maximum Football that was taken over by Modus. A company called Modus, and I think they were the publisher for Maximum, right?
Yeah, if I remember right, they did the physical discs and physical merch for Max Football. I think we self-published on PC and console, but they did the physical stuff. I think that's where the relationship started, if I remember right.
Okay. Well, I guess Dave Winter sold the game rights to them. I don't know what the details of that was, but I would assume it couldn't have been much.
I would hope not.
I would hope not too, because they ended up rebuilding the entire game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's a new trailer that came out. We're going to play it in a second because we kind of want to talk through this new football game. And just really the main thing here is kind of just, I don't know, have a chat with you guys and hear your opinions on this. But also the reason why we have the title the way we have it is because every time there's any news about any game, people just go ape shit over it. And they really they say Madden killer. I mean, they may call my game a Madden killer. And it's like, really? It's not, I'm not $1 billion company, with the NFL rights and decades of history and online and all the modes they have. And come on, like Madden killer. We all joke about that, but I don't know if we're ever going to get a Madden, competitor that's going to be a AAA licensed game. And that's something that I might not see in my lifetime. Right. So that's why I'm so skeptical about it too. But there are some good things in this video that we're going to look at. And I think there's some, I'm all about competition, and I'm open for any game to come out. I don't care if it's the crappiest game or the best game. I want to see more football games. I mean, we love football games, right, Shawn?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love to see this too. There was a while where this stuff used to get me down, but I've turned the corner now. I love seeing more football games being made, and hopefully they all get to the finish line. I mean, you and I have run across this a number of times. There's a lot of football games that get started and very few that ever get finished. So I have high hopes, right? The comments are what get me. And I make fun of them all the time, and I rip the comments and the Madden dorks all the time. But I think it's a symptom of the fact that we just need more football games. Right? Everybody's hungry and everybody's tired of getting the same thing over and over and over again. And I think the over excitement for trailers like this it's a symptom, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a it's like a, what do you call it? It's the byproduct of being felt like, it's almost like we've been abused for so many years, and these are our symptoms. These are our like our negative effects that come out of it, right? Because we're all desperate for a football game. We all want something to play that we really can enjoy, and Madden is Madden. Madden is good for people that want that specific kind of game, but it's been so long that since we've had competition, and it's just crazy, man. It's been over a decade, really, right? Because the last time was Backbreaker, I think. I mean, I'm not counting Maximum or Access Football, or our games.
Backbreaker, I think I mean, that was what, one version?
Yeah,
and
it
then
was.
It was gone.
It was one,
and you can't even really count that. That was a failure complete.
Right. And I think it was like in 2010, somewhere around there, if I had to remember my memory.
Yeah, I mean, the only legitimate competition was 2K.
Oh yeah,
2005 really. 2K8 wasn't even competition. They got one and it lost so much money they never made another one.
Right.
It's like it's been like a legitimate almost 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty long, and like for me, like with all the editors I created, and I've milked every single bit of All Pro Football. A lot of guys are still doing the ESPN 2K5. I know the Sim Football League, they're going to go to ESPN 2K4, I heard, because it has more modding capabilities. And so like people are still trying to squeeze out whatever blood they can from these rocks. And it's just like, even me, like last night, I was looking at potentially starting to build myself a cool like Legends, like alternate Legends roster for All Pro Football, because I want to play a game again. And I like the golf games, but then I get kind of in and out of them, and then I lose, they lose their appeal, and then but like even with All Pro Football, like I love the gameplay, but I already kind of know going into it that A, it's going to take me a long ass time to customize it, and then B, once you start playing it, it's very, very, very shallow. Like you don't really have the full franchise experience.
I know.
You don't have like a long-term goal to play, and you just end up playing, like the gameplay is awesome. I love the gameplay, but it's like, oh shit. So
yeah, there's a limit. Yeah.
I need to figure that out. But I don't know if you want to read some of these comments or how we want to handle this, because there's a lot of people talking in here.
Yeah. Were you going to show it at all and talk about it? Because
yeah,
the comments, I could just talk about the comments while you're getting that all set up. The comments are exactly, what we always say on all of our streams that get us. They set me off. They set Havo off every time. It's the same comments ever. It's the Madden killer. This, here's one thing I saw in the trailer. Madden hasn't been able to do that in 25 years. And it's silly. It's so funny. I get that we're excited and we're hungry, right? But like, everybody calm down. First of all, 99% of this trailer is not gameplay footage. And I rant on gameplay footage all the time because like, how many times have we seen games with cinematics that never get finished, right? Or games with cinematics where you sit down to play the game and you're like, this is not at all what was in the trailer. It's like, I want to see gameplay footage. They actually show some gameplay footage, which I was really impressed with. And I made several football engines, so like I can kind of see what they're doing, and I'm kind of impressed, to be honest. So I have high hopes now for this, but the Madden killer stuff, it's like they've been working on this game for what, a year? Madden's been gone. Madden has multi-billions of dollars into their game. Like we can, it's okay if every brand new game who's only been in development for a year or less, it's okay if they're not as good as the multi-billion-dollar franchise. Like, it's okay. Not every game has to be a Madden killer, right?
Yeah. And that's what's weird though too, is because people, and that's what I was telling my guys on the group that we talked, on Legend Bowl, on the beta team. Like, I was like, if you took Madden and you reskinned it and you put a new label on it and you put a new company behind it, people would be drooling all over the place for Madden. I mean, Madden is like you say, it's a beautiful thing. Now, is it perfect? No, but we know the challenge firsthand of what it takes to make a football game, and Madden is phenomenal. Like, it's phenomenal to put that on a console.
It's an absolute marvel that game even works.
Yeah, exactly. That it even works. And we as a community, the older people too, have gotten spoiled with all of the great games we had back in the day. But those games had so much less technology, so much less that they had to worry about in terms of animations and graphics and all that. And there were a few beautiful, like ESPN 2K5, Backbreaker was cool, and then All Pro Football. Those were like these weird, God sent, things that came down to us, and then they just disappeared. And it was like,
yeah, we even had stuff like, you had the backyard football, right? We had Cyberball was out in the arcades. You had the various versions of Tech Mobile that were either an arcade or on console. We had Front Page Sports Football had a multi-year franchise going. Like, my God, there were just so many things. Even like I've kind of realized it's like movies, right? Football gaming is like movies. Actually, all gaming's like movies. But there's the blockbusters, right, which are the triple A's. There's the indies, right, which most of them suck. And like, even in movies, right, most indie movies are garbage. They're like film projects and all that other crap, and they're terrible. And indie gaming is the same way, right? Like, Desktop Dynasties 1 sucked. It was garbage. It was like an indie movie made by a student. But the middle ground, right, the mid-budget movies, you don't see anymore. Mid-budget gaming, you don't really see that much anymore, especially in the football. And that's what we've missed, was that mid-budget football game. The Front Page Sports Football Pro, Backyard Football, Cyberball, like all of those mid-budgets are gone. It's the blockbuster and the indies and nothing in between.
Right.
And I've just sort of realized that. And I think that, we see this trailer come out for the Modus game. This feels like one of the first realistic mid-budget football games that we haven't had in forever. And like, that kind of excites me. It's not going to be as good as Madden. Everybody calm down. Like, the gameplay is going to be clunky. It's a Gen 1 game, right? This has nothing in common with Doug Flutie's game. This is going to be a Gen 1 game, so everybody's got to give it a break. But I love that we're starting to build that mid-budget football level in the genre.
Yeah. I mean, and let's take a look at the video. I don't know if we're going to get sound on here.
I don't know if we need sound. It's just a bunch of music.
Yeah, that's got sound, so if people want to hear it, but we can just turn the sound off, actually, because it's just music, like you said. But I mean, the graphics, and I downloaded the video, so this is pretty high definition here. Cool. And I mean, that move right there, just looking at that, and I'm not going to try to break this apart and kind of bang on them at all, but the graphics are good, right? It's Unreal Engine. They have high fidelity when it comes to the customization and graphics and textures and everything. I mean, and we don't, AA or single A studios for sure, indie guys, we don't have the ability to pull these kind of graphics off, at least not without a ton of money or a long runway, right? Like, but if I break this down and I start looking through all this, and I mean, we could probably do even this full screen if you guys need it bigger, but let me know. We can sit here and go frame by frame, and you can take a look at the blocking. Everybody's engaged. Seems like when they're engaged, everything looks okay. As soon as somebody gets loose, I saw a couple of weird issues going on. And we all know that blocking is the hardest thing to work on when it comes to a football game.
Is so hard.
It's ridiculous.
And,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, timing animations correctly, so engaging and disengaging and blocking movement looks right. It's the hardest thing in making a football game, I think, is just the blocking, offensive line and defensive line action. What they've got looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know. It looks pretty good.
I'm impressed. It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we run it like decent time, like this guy right here, up here, number 53, he pancakes the guy down here, and he's on the floor. And that move. Some of these juke moves look a little bit too easy to pull off from what the video shows, but like, the animations don't look bad. I mean, he missed him there. This guy up here completely just runs right past him. The running looks a little stiff to me, in my opinion. Like, I don't know what's going on with the way they run, but they look a little like right there, like too kind of upright. And I hope that they can kind of work on that a little bit so they don't look so tight and upright where they're running, like this.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like, you're making a game like this. This is clearly in that mid-budget to indie budget type of thing. They're not pouring $100 million into this game.
Right.
So like we're gonna have to be okay with mid to low budget animation. Like that's just a fact, right?
But I
think that's where the Madden dorks are gonna start losing. Like when this game actually comes out and people can play it, all of the people that are losing their mind over it are going to turn, and they're going to get pissed because it's not better than the multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Right.
And it's just like, that's going to frustrate me. And we'll do another video when that happens, so I can vent about the Madden dorks. But like for what it is, like it's a game that's been in development for a year, mid to low budget. Right, not $100 million. Like if they put $1 million into this, I'd be shocked. It looks pretty good for that. I mean,
I like this
granted,
tackle.
It's 99% cinematics, so take it for what it's worth.
And that's the thing. I don't know how much of this is going to be in the game, but this tackle right here, the way the guys are colliding and moving, and the way they're talking about the physics engine, it looks pretty damn nice here. The grass, people love grass. I love grass. I wish I could make that grass. I love grass. I love it, man. It's like one of those things that whenever I go to try to prototype a new like football game like this, I always look at the grass because that to me,
I remember you were starting to make a new 3D game like last year or the year before, and the first thing you got was grass.
yeah. I wanted to try to simulate because to me it's like if I can make grass that looks pretty, I know that's the Madden cheese thing that everybody says, but I don't want a flat field. I just don't want that crap. I want to be able to do, and that grass looks pretty decent. The tackle is more important. The gameplay is more important. I'm more interested in gameplay. But
yeah, I noticed, I don't know if you've watched a lot of their, I guess the behind the scenes videos,
like the devlogs.
Yeah. Where they had one or two where they were showing their mocap sessions.
Yep. I saw that. And
you could see they were doing motion capture with multiple people. So like the tackling animations. And I don't know if everybody's is inside baseball and mocap. So not I don't know if I'm talking to people who are like, I don't care about that. But they captured the motion with like two people doing a tackle. So there's the guy doing the tackle and there's the guy that's getting tackled, and they mocap both at the same time. So then what you get then is like in this video, you get a really, really nice tackle. The animation works together really well, right? The guy doing the tackling can grab the runner's arm and put his other arm, right? And it all matches up really well, and it looks really good. The tough part is what you're going to see probably if they do more videos, or you could probably break this one down and see it, or in the gameplay, is the animation of a guy running to that, switching to that really nice tackling animation. That's where you're going to see the issues, right? Their individual animations look really good. And in cinematics, you can get away with that without showing the hiccups. In gameplay, you're going to see animation hiccups when they transition from one to another. And that's just the nature of the business, right? That's just how it works. If you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you can create these systems so the animations always work perfectly together, because you can just throw money at it, right? You rub enough money on any problem, it goes away. So like when this comes out, like those are the kind of things we're gonna have to give them a break on, right? Animation transitions, like let's give them a break. It's not going to be perfect out of the gate, but because it's just not going to be. But that's okay. Like you can still have a good game without perfect animation. And I like this is part of the reason why I like to talk about football game dev all the time, is because I want people to know, like, just because the animation isn't perfect doesn't mean it's a bad game. And the Madden dorks need to calm down with their animation crap, because all you ever hear from these guys is, well, I was playing Madden for an hour and I saw 2 hiccups in animation. This game's trash. Like, calm the fuck down, okay? It's animation. Animation is not the only thing that makes a game. Calm down. So everybody, like, give these guys a break. Let's not hold them to that be perfect or it's trash standard. And just understand there's going to be issues.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like this move right here that we just saw, this juke, this guy on the right here, this guy over here, watch one of these two guys just stands there really weird after the play, like he's just standing there, and you would think you would want him to do more, but that's what you're talking about. You're talking about animation that's not perfect, especially when it's a AA studio or an indie studio, smaller studio. They don't have all of the animations that a company like Madden would have. And even Madden, like you say, has a whole boatload of issues.
They still have issues. Yeah.
The thing with all pro football, as you and I know, is that they built their entire engine on animations looking pretty. That was their thing. That was their key priority. Let's make the game transition from one animation to another. Their gameplay was pretty good, but it was all, which is how they ended up. If you look at the roadmap of 2K games, all of their games, the basketball game, whatever other games they have, the WWE games, but the basketball in general, when I think about that, those are all so animation heavy that they've gone from full control, stiff, basic animations to you wonder what NFL would be like, what their 2K game would be like, because I don't know if it would be as great as we think, because what they've done is over the years they've detached the control of the players from stiff basic graphics, where you can, like in the old NCAA college games or whatever, you could sit there and you could post up on a guy all day long, and you can, even in the football game, you can move left and right, up and down, really simple. They had a little bit of momentum, but it was very basic, very short, very sweet. Now, if you fast forward to the new NBA 2K, if I push a button, the guy goes into a 5-step sequence, and I can't. And they have
that is so true.
And they have ways to get out of it. Like they have like a move where you can counter, but you've lost, I would say, 50% of your control around the basket in NBA 2K. And that's because they want it to look like, anybody who walks by, they'd be like,
animation driven.
Who's playing tonight? What game is that? Oh, I'm playing a game. You're playing a game. And so that's where I think people have companies have kind of transitioned to where they want to make it look beautiful, but the gameplay suffers at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you can see why they do it, is because the gamers, it might be Splattercat, it might be one of these guys that reviews indie games on YouTube, makes a comment all the time that, well, as everybody knows, the only thing that matters in games is the animation, right? Because he's laughing about it, but like, that's all you ever hear people talk about, right? People rip on Madden because there's slight hiccups in animations, or the animations don't match perfectly. So as a company, right, as the finance guy, the CEO, like the non-game dev part of the company, right? The leadership, why wouldn't they think that the direction to go is 100% animation? So like, it doesn't surprise me at all. Like we're even talking about this game, like the first thing anybody wants to talk about is the animation. Nobody cares if there's no gameplay. Like nobody cares about that. All they're talking about in the comments is the animation. So like, why wouldn't anybody go that direction?
Right. Look at me. I'm actually looking at the trailer and I have it in slow motion running through here, because I do want to see the animations. Personally, I want to see them, but at the same time, like for me, what I'm looking at is, I'm trying to find the gameplay pieces, because if you,
it's hard to find them.
Well, if you slow it down, like I know on this, there was one play I saw earlier where if you slow it down, you know, you can see some weird things happening, and it's going to happen. That's fine. I'm not too worried about those things. But for me, I'm trying to just slow it down and look at the gameplay. Like this dude right here, he's just standing there. You know, I don't know if you're can you see my screen, Shawn, okay, or no?
I look at it. I'm just watching it on your YouTube video. I can't see it. I just got your head is like full frame on our call, our Google Meet.
Okay. So you're not looking at the video?
I'm watching it on your channel, and then I also have my own copy of the trailer open so that I'm kind of scrubbing through it as we talk to.
I don't know why I lost your camera for some reason. Let me see. Hold on. Let's read some comments here while I'm trying to figure this out, maybe, because I'm not sure why.
Yeah, you got to get me back on there. I'm pretty good looking.
I lost you, man. I lost you. Oh, there you are. I don't know. That's weird. It's like,
that's happened to us before. I don't know what. I think it's a Google Meet thing. I don't know.
Well, we got a lot of people in here. We got 56 people in here.
Holy cow!
So we got a lot of comments. If you want to just take a quick look while
my last stream, I had 6 people in, and I thought that was a big day.
we don't normally have a lot of people on this channel, but you know, today's big news, right? We have football people that want to talk about football, I guess.
I know.
You know,
I will. Oh my goodness! I think I need more pretend beer. Here we go. Oh yeah.
There you
go. No. Oh, so one thing I did notice, excuse me. Like watching the gameplay portions, and it wasn't, frankly, it wasn't easy to find. I do just quick aside, I do wish they would show more gameplay. Like I get the cinematics thing, like I get its hype and blah, blah, blah. I want to see gameplay. Mm-hmm. I really do, because I'm really interested in it. But in the little bit that I did see, I started to get a feel for how they're developing this game and what the gameplay is going to feel like. And I'm actually I'm happy and I'm encouraged by what I see. It looks to me, and I could be wrong, but in the little clips of gameplay that are interdispersed here, it looks like they're not doing like a root motion style system where the animation drives the movement, right? Like a lot of first person shooters and platformers and things like that, they use root motion because like every footstep like moves the player. That's what root motion is like the animation and the footsteps and the player, the way the skeleton moves drives the motion of the player. I can't remember if Madden does that or not. It's been so long since I played Madden, but it doesn't look like they're using that. So to me, that kind of says I don't think they're going to use animation to drive player motion, which then means they can use physics to drive player motion. They can use physics, formulas, and ratings to drive player motion, which probably means player ratings and team building is really going to matter. I'm hoping. Just based on the little snippets I see, this is kind of the fall of the dominoes that I'm kind of projecting forward. Is it looks to me like there's the potential for this could be really fun. First of all, the movement's not going to look lifelike, right? It's not going to be like lifelike, true to scale, right? Every footstep doesn't slide and all that other stuff. Like there's probably going to be some sliding. There's probably going to be some unrealistic cutting. They're probably going to use that thing like where you move the joystick from forward over to right and your guy just kind of turns and moves rather than doing the plant and move. Mm-hmm. But I think the trade-off is going to be your gameplay is going to be more fun. And I think the gameplay is going to be more ratings dependent, which is always a good thing in a team building game. So I'm very encouraged on the little bits that I saw and, extrapolating forward. I mean, so far I like what I see,
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, like I've given up on anything that's not 2K coming out. you know, and minus as far as a 3D football game, right? Like a 3D real Madden clone game. I don't even, in my mind, even this game wasn't even on my radar to care about. I know I've seen all the dev logs. I've spoken to the guy before offline on things. And, you know, I'm very familiar with what's coming, what you guys know of this game. But like as a fan of football games, I haven't really even given any game any chance at this point. Watching this trailer, I know what we're getting, what we're seeing here. We're seeing the best possible perception of the game. That's what the trailer's meant to do, right?
Yeah,
it's supposed to hide all the flaws. It's supposed to make it look like a real gameplay game.
You don't want to be like me and show your game breaking all the time.
No, like we don't do that. We just show what it is, and good or bad, and that's fine. And this is a company that's trying to make, you know, money, which I guess we could talk about the free to play in a minute. But the thing is, as a fan, I'm with you. Like, I'm not expecting this to be an APF killer. It ain't happening. It's not going to be 2K5. It's not going to be APF. It's just not. It's not even going to be backbreaker, in my opinion. I think what it's going to do, if anything, it'll give us the best indie football 3D game we've ever probably seen. That's like the high bar for me on this one. If it can hit that'd be great. Where it looks good enough. It's AA, you know, as far as the animations and everything. But I just hope that the gameplay, like you were saying, I'm with you. I hope the gameplay is fun. I hope that it's engaging. I hope you have control. Obviously, the modes. I hope we have modes where we can, you know, feel like we're going to be able to build a big team and advance and work our way and grind our way somewhere. And hopefully there's some cool stick skills. Because you think about it, and this is one of the things that scare me. Like when I look at the trailer, there's that Madden juke move in this trailer where you juke for 5 yards to the right, and he jukes a guy like 5 different times, and I'm like, if you're playing and you have an OP move like that, that's not going to be fun, right? So there's so many pieces.
Yeah, that I don't love. I can tell. This looks like it's going stick skills, 100% arcade football. That's not the kind of game I can play. I know a lot of people will love it though, and that's cool, and I'm glad it exists. I'm a little worried that this is going to be another one of those games I just can't play because I can't do stick skills football, right? My fingers, I got no dexterity. Like my fingers don't move fast enough. Like my dream of doing close-up magic as a profession is dead. So like stick skills doesn't work for me. And like you said, seeing the jukes like that and kind of seeing the gameplay they chose to highlight makes me think it's probably going to be a stick skills arcade game.
Well, to me, it's a Madden.
Yeah, it's good for 90% of the people, just not me.
It's a Madden clone, in my opinion, at this point. Like they have moves in here that look like Madden. It's gonna be, and for me, I'm on the other side of that. Love stick skills. I want stick skills. Yeah, I love APF, and APF is a very stick skill game. That game's all about how you control the players in the field. And that's exactly what I want. Like I'm on the opposite side with that. I mean,
it would be great if I could play it. I used to be really good at stick skills, but then my fingers turned into sausages and I can't do nothing. Little known fact: back when NCAA was online and you used to be able to do competitive multiplayer, I was like ranked number 2 in the world for like almost a whole year. It's like I used to be good at it. Like I would let anybody pick their team, and I would take some mediocre team like Iowa all the time and just roll people. Like they would take USC or Notre Dame, like back in the USC days, or Texas, and I would just roll them with like Iowa. And like people would rage quit me all the time. It was awesome. I miss those days, man.
I used to do that.
Now I can't get out of a chair without it sounding like I'm standing on bubble wrap, you know?
I used to play. It reminds me of Tiger Woods. Like I think 08. I mean, I used to play a lot of them, but 08 and 09 especially, I think. And I was ranked up there like high, like really high. And that's when rankings used to feel good. You didn't have a lot of cheese. There weren't people just, you know, trying to like cheat their way through the games, and nobody rage quitting on you nonstop. Like you felt like you actually had pretty decent game quality back then. But
like I would win by pounding the football. I would run the ball. Everybody else is trying to, like everybody does in Madden. You want the one bomb for the touchdown. Like I would run the ball and win games like 17-10. It was awesome.
Yeah, things have just changed. Like I won't even go online. I don't get a good experience online, so I don't even try it. And these kids nowadays, all they do is rage quit and they cheat and they do the stupidest plays. I mean, number one, I don't have a football game to play. Number two, if I do play online, it's probably going to be a golf game, and I don't really do that anymore at this point.
Do you remember when online football broke? I remember. I'll tell you when I think online football broke, and you're going to be like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, you mean
Michael
like
Vick?
Oh, yeah.
Michael Vick broke online football because the second he got into Madden, it was roll out left, roll out right, roll out left, roll out right, throw the ball deep, defender in, rocket jump. And it's never left since.
Was there online back then? What was that? 02?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there was. I forget.
Yep, because Michael Vick left, Michael Vick right basically was every single online.
Yeah,
match.
I know that was pure cheese. Yeah. But yeah, man, online, I can't do online anymore. I don't know what it is about it. And I don't have like 50 friends I'm playing with, and they don't have really an online. Like if I had a cool online like franchise, not Madden, something different, then I would...
like a real one that doesn't get erased every season.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
Oh my God.
But I mean, here's the thing. Like
this one is supposed to be online. Like I'm really, really shocked that Max Football not only is attempting online play, but has already announced it.
Yeah.
Like that's baller. Like those guys are running with some big old steel ones to already have announced online play.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, holy cow.
I mean, I don't know.
They must have that thing rock solid already, because online is no joke.
I don't know how easy it is to do that though. In Unreal, maybe it's easier. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Maybe Unreal, it's super easy, but
I can't even think about online, man. That's crazy for me. But that's the thing. It's like they're going to go free to play. So they talked about it being, exhibition mode only pretty much. And then you can do deep customization in the game. And like you were saying, they're probably going to start charging for modes. Maybe franchise mode is going to come with a charge.
That does worry me.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. But like this trailer, we should be excited. Like people should be excited about it, because what have we had? This is like the first game that's coming out since Backbreaker, basically. Joe Montana was another one that was supposed to be coming out, right? That never came out, but that's really it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's all we've had from all the way back to Backbreaker, and so they may be able to capitalize on it.
I mean, other than that IVF gaming or whatever that scam was.
Well, yeah, that was pure trash.
There's been a couple of big time scams that have come out, but
actual games that we've seen footage of, it's only been Joe Montana and this since Backbreaker, I think.
Yeah.
That's worth anything, right? You have Access Football, whatever, Maximum. Those are too indie, too basic. But this coming out.
Yeah, the old Max Football and Access, I wouldn't put them in the mid tier range. Like they're straight indie, like you and me.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Max Football or Access being any different than what you and I have made.
Right. Like I have
but these guys are different. Like this Modus game is different.
It is different, but like even right now, I'm still not sold on the game, because they just built it. They just started from the ground up. I think I was more sold on John Madden. I mean, not John Madden. I was more sold on Joe Montana. I was part of the beta team, and that turned into a pure flop. And I didn't get to see enough, but I knew it had a big name behind it. They looked really good. It was being done in Unreal, and it just felt like it was. And I guess these guys are going to have to prove to me that I'm wrong, because they're still a small no-name company, in my opinion. Yeah, they make other games, but not when it comes to sports games. They're making a football game from the ground up. But I'm also like, the more I see this and the more I'm thinking, I'm like, well, shit, maybe they might be able to pull off a decent game. Because Backbreakers wasn't a great game, but it was good enough to get my teeth sunk into it. Yeah, it was a good foundation. And that's what we need as a community. We need a game that's going to give us a foundation that they can actually get enough support on, which is going to be
the part that worries me, and why I kind of hit on you got to give them a break, because what I worry will happen is they will come out with a really good effort at the middle budget range, better than anything we've seen in a long time, but obviously not Madden. And I worry that the people they're courting for this game will not give it a break. They're going to look at it and say, well, you didn't beat the multi-billion-dollar game that's already out there, so therefore your game is trash. And I worry that all the console dorks and the Madden dorks are going to trash this game, and they're going to lose money on it, and they're going to be like, well, we're done, one and done. That worries me. I want to believe that people are going to give it a chance, and I want to believe that football gamers truly are interested in other games. I'm a little skeptical because we have seen no evidence that the Madden dorks are willing to give another game a chance. I really hope this one breaks through, though, because we need more. We need more football games.
I think that's the most important part of this, is that they're going to do. This is going to be the difference between them and like people like us, right? They're going to do whatever it takes to make the game look beautiful, but it's going to get into your hands at some point. They announced EA. It's not. I thought they were announcing the full game. They're going to go to early access on PC in spring. So that's going to be the first impression, which I don't think is a bad idea, because then you're going to be able to get good feedback, right? And you're going to be able to get people to know that you're not finished yet. So it's almost like an excuse, and you have a little bit more time to refine things. But I just don't know, and I agree with you, I don't know if the sports football community is going to have enough patience and, hope and willingness to support a game like this. But all of these years of being frustrated, all of these years of complaining, and they go out and buy Madden again every year, I just don't know if those guys are going to be able to really, really put their money where their mouth is and say, I am going, and that's the thing too, talking about money. How are they going to monetize it? Because it's not like you're just saying, hey, buy the game. Now you're talking about picking up the game, liking it. And this is what scares me about free to play, by the way. Free to play, the way that free to play works, in my opinion, you have to have a game that hooks you. If it doesn't hook you, you ain't getting any monetization, any microtransactions, because who the hell wants to pay for a game they don't even want to play, right? So that's
like in my video, right? I kept asking questions like, what are you offering, right? That's what's going to be key here. Because if all you're offering is something not quite as good as Madden, but the same game, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah, when somebody makes a comment about Fortnite. Fortnite's actually a pretty damn good game. Like, yes, it's a
legit game.
It's a legit game, and yes, it's not. It's kind of childish in my opinion. It's not the most advanced war simulator shooter game. No, but it's a really, really stable, good online game, and their microtransactions that they do, the gear that they give you, is pretty high quality stuff. Like, they're not just giving you little crap that nobody wants. These kids are hooked on the game. They're hooked on the upgrades you can get and the gear and the swag you can get in that game. And that's the thing, just thinking about it now out loud, is like, this game, that's what scares me, man, because this game is going to need people to like it a lot before they start spending money on it. And how are they going to pull that off? Because people don't like games after they buy them, and they're like, oh, I played this and now it's trash. So now they don't. So you get more support in the old model, is what I'm saying, when you have to just put the gate up and say, okay, you try it out, you buy it, and now you're done. You already bought it, but now they're going to let you in for free. That's playing with pure dynamite, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious how that's going to go. Fortnite makes sense because you're one guy fighting 50 or 100 other guys, and like decking your one guy out in gear makes sense because you want to be different than everybody else. Like, this is a team game where you got 53 players on your roster. Like, what are the, if it's going to be cosmetics, like what are you really buying? Like, is it your whole team? Is it one player? Like, and who would really want to do that? Like, I'm curious how that's going to work, because I can't envision it yet. And maybe they've got a system that is brand new. I can't envision it. The only thing I really don't want to see is I don't want to see franchise mode behind a paywall. That would kind of bug me.
Well, and even then, like I'm saying, so there's two things there, right? One is exactly what you said. a game like Fortnite where you're one character, and that's where I think a football game, I've always thought if I could be a character and I can play on a team, right? And I could be one of the 11 guys on the field, then great. Put me in there and find a way to make that work. But if you're talking about microtransactions when you're the full team, then maybe you can talk about some uniforms you can probably do, or some extra gear you can get, or stadiums, things like that, like graphical items that you can pick up.
Yeah, but then who are you showing them to?
Online people, right? Like you're showing them to your opponents.
Do you take pictures and post them on your
maybe
Snapchat or something?
The young guys nowadays do that crap.
Because if you're playing online, you're playing one other person. Right, Fortnite. If you're playing online, you're playing with like 100 other people.
Well, it would be a slower grind because you're going to get through 100 people, right? And they're going to see it over time. Or you play with your friends, and your friends are like, "Oh shit, you got those badass shoes." Well, I mean, there's some possibility there, but yeah, it's not as instant. And
that's where I worry about it, because like when you're playing Fortnite, you got 100 people in there. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got different stuff. It's like, it's easy. And like MMOs are the same way, right? World of Warcraft, there's like thousands of people on there. So any upgrade you get automatically has thousands of eyes on it. In a football game, let's say I upgrade my socks. I pay $5.99. I get better socks. I play online. It's just me against you. And okay, Havo sees my socks. Was that really worth $5.99 for Havo to see my socks? Like, you're the only other person that could possibly see it.
Listen, there's no doubt that it is not anywhere near the most ideal.
That's why I'm curious.
Situation.
Like there has to be a different system.
It's gonna be pay for franchise, 100%. It's gonna be pay for modes.
That scares me though.
Yeah, that scares me too. But that's the thing though. If the game is good enough and the franchise, shit. I mean, if the game's good enough, I would pay for franchise mode because they got the game for free. Why would I care? I really wouldn't care. Now, if it's going to be, more money than what it's worth and not worth the payment, then no, right? It's not going to work that way. So they have to figure out how to do that. But another thing that scares me though too is if they're going to do it like a franchise, like Dollar Jr. says, he says that it's going to be behind a paywall, right? Like what we're saying. And if that's the case, you're not talking about $3 to $10 that somebody's going to go ask their parents for. You're talking about probably $50, $60 for a big mode, right? I don't think it's going to be $5. It might be a monthly subscription thing. I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah. But my fear is that it might be too expensive for people to even want to pay that much. But that's going to have to be up to their, design.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm sure they've got something in mind that makes sense. I hope they do. I just can't envision it yet.
The one thing I do think is brilliant by them, just like Retro Bowl, make it for free, and everybody they have no excuse but to put it on their system. They have no excuse. Anybody who says, I won't buy Madden sucks, it's the worst game in the world, and they go buy it every year. Backbreaker you had to pay for. All Pro Football you had to walk into GameStop and pay for it. This you don't. This is going to be like, okay, I push a button, I have it. Now that's where the hard part really happens for me is they might get a huge audience that sees the game, because now little Johnny over here got it for free. So he's going to go tell all his friends, because that's what Retro Bowl did. Retro Bowl's trash, in my opinion, absolute and utter garbage. And that game has quote unquote sold a shit ton of copies, or made a lot of money because they've had the microtransactions, but they got it in people's hands. If you get this in that many people's hands, then look at there's the one game on Steam. There's that one football game that it's like called Gridiron something, where you're the one player and you play online. And they were trying to do, it's a small little indie guys. It's like one or two guys. But that's the other thing. Like, is this company going to be big enough to move the needle and get this free to play game in front of people, right? Because as of right now, Madden is basically free to play. I mean, their model is free to play, but they're still getting away with charging people on top of it. Yep.
Yeah.
And so if another company comes out and they do free to play and they make enough waves, don't think for a second that Madden's not going to just say, okay, this game's free now, and then take all those guys back over to Madden. if they even get that far, which is now I'm talking way down the road.
I know. Now we're just trying to figure out what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Well, but I guess I feel like whoever's making the decisions over there, unless you have a solid game on the field, you're making a huge mistake. You're making a huge mistake because now you're opening a door to let everybody see trash. And then they're not going to play that long to pay for anything. And they're not going to want to support to pay anything unless the game is good enough to keep their attention.
Yeah.
That's my fear. Now, guys like us, the guys in here, Wild Lion screaming like crazy to support the game. He's a hardcore guy. He's dying. I mean, dying for a football game. The guy plays access football, for crying out loud. I mean, he is dying for a football game like a lot of us are. But we are the minority, dude. My kid will not be like me.
That's what's sad.
He won't be like me. He'll jump on and be like, this game's trash. There's no NFL. That's the first thing he would say. It's trash. There's no NFL. And I hate hearing that.
That's depressing.
It's depressing, man. It's depressing. So I don't know how people are going to support it. And what the free to play thing scares the hell out of me now. The more I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason I've gone totally off the reservation when it comes to football games. Like the games I'm making they're barely football right now. Right? They're totally different because once you do a game that looks like regular football, the very first question anybody has is, where are the license, right? Why can't I play as the Lions? Why can't I play as Pat Mahomes? It's like, well, because nobody else can do that. And if that's the bar, we're all screwed.
And that's the part about, like, with my game, every time somebody, like, I'll look online on YouTube, and every time I see somebody playing with the NFL mod, or they jump right in and they go get the NFL mod, that's always a letdown for me because personally, the modded roster, like the NFL roster that the guys did a great job on, Gray the Colors, the guy who runs that pretty much. And I know you guys did a lot of with that game, but that roster plays nowhere near as well as the regular roster. Like, it just doesn't play as well.
Yep. And on my game, I'm thinking that too, is like, okay, I need to make it so you can download NFL rosters and logos. And I'm just like, but it's so much better without.
It really, well, the main roster for my game has been vetted so many times, and the ratings and everything about that roster makes the game feel as high quality as possible. But then when you throw a modded roster, which was made by somebody part-time and with all this different input and all these different hands in the cookie jar, it's like, okay, well, number one, it's not going to play anywhere near the way the game was supposed to be, played. And that's going to be their first impression. And on top of it, they're going to be seeing their players, like a Mahomes or Allen or whoever. And they're going to say, that guy doesn't play like him. Then you lose all of that because now they're comparing it to the NFL players. And it's like, okay, well, now everything's, off the reservation.
That always depresses me too. Like, I keep going down the road. Maybe I shouldn't allow it, but it's like, you have to. Because some people really need that. Yeah, but it's just like, but the game is so much better without that.
You want to give it to them because that's what, like, even this game, people I can already. I like the way I actually like these uniforms. I like the way this looks. I love
fictional teams. Like, the creativity that you have to make fictional teams, and like, you don't have to worry about it playing like the real team. Like, it's just fictional teams is just freedom, right? And we all love freedom, but in a football game, it's like everybody wants their team, and it's just like, enjoy your freedom.
But and that's the part that I think, like, for me, like, if I would love to see the Buffalo Bills on this game, yeah, no doubt. But at the same time, if the game can't support the customization, two things. If the game had enough animations and enough customization in it to distinguish a power running back versus a fast and agile, elusive running back, right? A Tyreek Hill versus like a speed burner guy, right? Like, those are two totally different looking players. And as soon as you enter the modding customization scene, if you can't differentiate between those different types of archetype players, now you've just watered down the game even further. And it's like, shit, this guy runs the same as the other guy, and he throws the same as the other guy. And then it's like, okay, then now you've lost all that customization. And then the other side, the flip side of that is, let's say you did have the most diversified, customized game in the world. Who the hell's going to do all that work? That's the biggest problem I have with all pro football. I can't get myself to do the work. You know, like I have an editor that can do
It's
it.
a double-edged sword. Well, like you and I talked about that because talking about game development direction, right? It's the same thing. Like you can add and make the game as complicated as you want, but at some point the player's not going to want all that, right? Yeah, you can make your games, you can mod it and make real NFL players, but then like the amount of work that goes into creating a real NFL roster that actually works with your game, that's a lot of work. And there's going to be a limited amount of people that are willing to do that. So like how many sales did you actually gain by adding this feature that probably took you weeks to implement,
That's the thing. Like
it's all tough.
I'm reading comments in here and there's a couple of good things in here. Like one of them is, it is kind of scary that the younger generation, and that's another thing, like, are there enough older guys who are more old school that will have discretionary income, obviously, and also have the interest of still playing games? Will there be enough of those people out there to pick up this game? I feel strongly that the younger generation, because they have no patience, their attention span is this. It's like that, right? It's nothing. My kid watches YouTube shorts like he's flipping through freaking popcorn, things. It's like, dude, get off the phone. Like all these kids are hooked to this constant, quick and fast and, repetitive, like just, they want new things like that. They don't have any attention spans ever compared to what we used to have back in the day. We used to sit there and grind the shit out of a Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge, right? We are at the arcade throwing quarters in for hours on end. These kids don't have that kind of patience. So what I'm saying is, if they don't have the NFL, they may immediately be like, no, trash.
Even the amount of time it takes to download and install a mod might be too much.
The one thing that it does have, though, it has really good graphics, this game. And my kid is always like, oh, your game's pixel art. I don't care about none of my friends.
The same way.
I don't care about pixel art. This game has pretty good graphics, but then they're going to go to the NFL. They're going to say, no NFL.
I know.
Where's my guy? And where's Lamar Jackson? I don't see him, right?
Yeah, I hope they come up with a hook that's really compelling. I hope it doesn't turn out that this is just stick skills football, just like Madden, and they're hoping that Madden players will play it. Because I think we've all learned that the Madden dorks are the Madden dorks, and they're never going to leave Madden.
And the other problem that people are saying on here too, which I totally agree with, I know if you just said it on here, that modding 95 or 99, I would say, % of people, they don't mod. Like they don't. Yeah,
nobody mods.
Nobody deals with mods.
So like my game is the Total War franchise, right? Like I play Total War ever since it ever came out. That is a really moddable game. Same with Civ. I play a lot of Civ. So like those two games are extremely moddable, and the mods out there are like AAA level. I'm a game developer and really comfortable with files and mods and things like that. I've never modded one of those games in over a decade. And like, I'm not unusual. Most people just want to play the game the way the game is made to be played. Most people,
well, they're lazy and they want it served to them.
Anything.
That's why everybody gets Uber Eats at their house, because they don't even want to move a finger.
Nobody wants to mod games.
No,
right? There's a small group of people that mod.
But the little sliver. It's like the is it Empire? Or what movie was that? The first Star Wars, when he's going through the thing and he shoots the thing. Like there's a little sliver of hope.
Goes through the thing and shoots the thing.
Yeah, it shoots the thing and goes through the thing. Right. You know what I'm talking about, the Death Star, where he goes in and he blows it up or whatever.
I absolutely know what you're talking about.
There you go. Luke Skywalker riding through that bitch with Yoda in the back, or whoever. No, not Yoda. Yoda is a pimp, though. It was, who was it? The R2-D2
Oh, my
guy.
God. You got to stop. You're going to make me nuts.
Listen. There's a sliver of hope.
A sliver of hope. So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. All of the people that have been let down year after year with Madden, who are those people? Where are they? And are they that disgruntled and upset to where they're going to go out and they're going to support a game like this? Because there is that
hope so
percentage of people that Yes, it's not Madden. Yes, it's not the NFL. Yes, they don't want a mod, on and on and on. It's not AAA, whatever.
Yep.
But they are looking for, this is the first legitimate chance.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very encouraged that somebody is entering the middle market.
Yeah.
For games, for football games.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I mean, my game's coming out on consoles like soon. Like, you know, we're talking days, weeks now. And it's not a 3D game. It's totally different, which I did on purpose, right? I don't want to be in this situation. I can't afford to be in this situation where I've spent that much time and resources and money and make a game that looks that great, have mocap sessions. I don't even have the budget for that. And to jump into this arena with the mammoth, Goliath, Madden, no, I'm not doing that. So I'm super interested how my game's going to do, how this is going to do, you know, and it's exciting news. Like the more I watch this video, the more I'm like, dude, we're going to have another football game. That's like not just the old maximum crap Dave Winter football, which is, you know, piss.
Yeah.
That was nothing, right?
That was garbage.
I could tell you're out of steam. You're ready to go. I could see it in your face.
I got to make my sandwich, man. It's already an hour past sandwich time.
All right. Well, I don't think.
Yeah. Plus, we don't want to spend any more time talking about Dave.
No, we don't. And my connections.
I'd go for another hour if that's what we were going to do.
I could talk like this all day, bro. I haven't talked.
Now you see why I do it all the time.
I know.
Like it's fun, right?
Well,
it's nice to decompress a little bit.
It is fun to decompress. I admit. Yeah. You're right. But it's also cool to like this news. The more I'm watching it, the more I'm seeing it, the more I'm kind of like, oh, this is decent news. You know, this is pretty decent news. So
I keep telling you, man, you do it because it's fun. That's why we do this.
I don't have fun anymore.
Dude, you got to live your life, man. Have some fun. Get yourself a bunch of pretend beer, right? Stream at lunchtime and just talk about nonsense all day. That's the life.
StreamYard. I need StreamYard.
Yeah, you
this setting up was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. You need StreamYard. You just click on the icon and hit go because it's just that easy.
All right. Well, that's it then, guys. We're done. We're going to get back to life.
Yep. Back to game dev.
Let us know. Right? Hit the like button so people can see this, so that they can go support this game, you know, and all you guys who are hyping this game up, keep your expectations, you know, at bay. Like keep them low.
Hyping it up is good, but like you need to follow through with giving them a break then.
Right. Don't become
if you're going to hype the game to get it eyes, that's great, but give them a break when it comes out.
Right.
Don't bail on them then. Don't hype it up and then bail on them.
Like this guy right here. I'm going to show it just real quick before we get off. Somebody's going to go online and they're going to say number 51 right here is blocking nobody. What's he doing? Why is he not blocking anybody?
I've already seen a bunch of those comments, and I've seen other YouTubers who premiered this already start ripping the animation, and like it's already pissing me off.
That's bullshit, man. They need to calm down. And the only way we're ever going to get a game that comes anywhere near some of the great games we've had is if we support this game. And I don't know how you're going to do that with this new pay system that they got going on, but we'll find out. We'll find out. So we're going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't get to the comments. We're just tight on time and trying to talk through this. But hit the like button. Tell all your friends about the game because we love football games. We're football devs, but we love football games. And anybody who's brave enough to come out and do this, I give them, a clap because they deserve it. And I think this game is the first legitimate, decent, AA title that we've had in a long time.
Really long time.
I'm excited to see more and go from there. So thanks for coming on, Shawn. Appreciate it.
See ya.
All right. Later, guys.